Hey guys, welcome back. I have a very special guest. Actually, I've been talking to her for years. I love talking to her. She's a lot of fun. She's passionate about what she does. She's creative. She's a dancer, something I can't do. And she also is an actress and something I've wanted to do. So I'm going to talk to her today about all that she's got going on. And I know we had a little bit of a hiatus in Hollywood, but she's back. She's doing new cool things. So we're going to talk to her about her story and, of course, what she's got going on now. Welcome to the show, Carlena. Britch. How you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing well, Emma. How are you?
I'm doing good. This has been fun to talk to you again. It's been years, actually. It's actually been about 2 years now. So it's fun to reconnect.
Yeah, absolutely. We made it out of the pandemic, or semi out of it.
Semi out of it. Yeah. I mean, as you can see, I'm still kind of having to do things from my house too, but it all works. I mean, it's all good.
Yeah, totally.
So for anybody who hasn't seen any of my past interviews with you, tell me a little bit about yourself so people can see who you are and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, well, my name's Carlena. I'm a Canadian actress. I live in Los Angeles and I've been here for about 10 years now. My career started as a professional dancer and I danced for people like Justin Bieber, Prince, Usher, Gwen Stefani. I had a pretty great dance career. And then I was like, what's next? And I transitioned into acting and I got my start in a Lifetime movie called You Killed My Mother, and then trickled into some of the film and TV stuff I did, like Supernatural, The X-Files, iZombie, Twilight Zone, Charmed, etc. So yeah, now I live and work in Los Angeles, and I'm still choreographing and still writing aside from acting. So I kind of have a toe in every pond, as they'd say.
It's good to do that though. I mean,
Yeah,
it's fun.
totally.
It keeps you all around and you can kind of understand the industry better. And it kind of helps with any job that you do, I'm sure.
Totally. And I'm such a busybody, and I love doing things that to sit around and wait for things to come to me would probably just drive me nuts. So
Yeah, absolutely. So was it hard transitioning from dancing to acting, or was it kind of seamless?
I think it was a little bit of both. I mean, it was seamless in the sense that I had spent years and years on set. I was very comfortable in front of the camera. I was very comfortable, with set jargon, what the camera moves were, lighting cues, etc. So that part of it was seamless. But of course, I was at a specific sort of tier in my career. And then to sort of leap from that tier all the way back to the bottom and be climbing this totem pole to get back up, that part has definitely been challenging. I had spent so much time and put tons of energy and attention into one specific career. And while they're still under the umbrella of the entertainment industry, it was a pretty big jump. But I'm glad I did it. I couldn't imagine not scratching that itch to have that voice in a different way. I've always been an artist, but to tell stories, now through my words and my characters versus just my body, has been a real gift.
I think that's something we don't always do in life. We get that itch and we keep saying, you know what, I'm just not good enough. Or you know what, this isn't going to happen for me. I'm just not talented enough. And there's so many other people out there that are more talented than I. Why would anybody look at me? So how do you overcome that? How did you overcome that?
Yeah, oof, what a question. I mean, I don't know if you ever overcome it. I think it's there, but I think if you can find a way to carve out space for both to exist, right? I still have that voice inside that tells me that I'm not good enough or not capable enough or not talented enough. But the stronger voice is the voice that says you can do this thing, the voice of confidence, the voice that wants to take risks and try new things. And you really have to nurture that voice, because I think the voice of fear, which for me is the latter, I think that voice is always going to be there. And so instead of trying to eliminate that voice, sort of befriending it, like, hey, okay, I hear you. Yeah, we're going to do this thing anyway. And just knowing that it's going to be a part of the journey. And I think over time it dulls, one gets a little louder than the other, but there's always moments where that voice comes back, whether it's a new project or trying something new, or even auditioning for something that you're just like, oh my God, this is my wildest dream, like to even be given the opportunity to audition for it. That voice definitely wants to come back. So figuring out how to navigate the both of them.
I think people put too much emphasis on failure. And I think there's no real failure except for the regret of not doing it when it's too late. I think that to me is more failure than anything else. All you could do is just it may not work out perfectly for you the way that you planned it, but that doesn't mean that you can't change it and do something different later on. So that's how I try to attack my life too. Because I mean, there's people said I wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff. And I told them, you know what? I'm going to try. What do I got to lose? So.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's so inspiring.
And now I'm going to try to I was trying to get into acting myself. I can't sing and I can't dance. So that's kind of a little bit of a problem, but I don't think, I think I like to make people laugh and I like to make people entertained. And I think that is going to be the thing that's going to help me get to where I want to get to. So I'm glad you followed your position too. The first time I ever saw you was on Rags. And I love that movie. I actually have that movie. I just watched it last week and I was like, oh, that's really cool. So it's a lot of fun to see that and to see where you've come today. So tell me a little bit about choreographing. That's really fun. Like I said, I can't dance. So what types of styles do you do with your dance? Can you incorporate a lot of different things? Are you multi-burst with the styles that are out there?
Yeah, I think with choreography, I show up to the project and then sort of go from there. So most recently, I had the pleasure of working on a new music video called Always There by a duo. They're actually identical twins. They go by the name Ain't Afraid. And that was a really cool experience because I had never worked with twins before, who were not only rappers and R&B singers, but they also did all of their own, wardrobe and styling and creative direction. And so to come into something that was already, fleshed out to a certain extent and to just elevate their experience was really unique. And then I've also been on projects where sometimes the choreography is more like comedy choreography, where it's not necessarily like any specific style, but maybe it's hitting on comedic beats, similar to like when I was on Lip Sync Battle. Finding a way to use movement in a way that accentuates jokes or accentuates a story. Like, for example, I choreographed a Wendy's commercial and, it was about these like 99-cent Frosties, right? And so like this like group of people come down in like a low rider car and it's like moving up and down, and I'm choreographing on people who are like dressed in like the Wendy's like king outfit, and anyways, just all over the place. And then sometimes I get to do really beautiful stuff. Like I choreographed a music video last year for a new artist and named Lorelai Marcel, and I got to hire two contemporary dancers, and they did a really beautiful duet performing on this stage that we rented out of an art space in Pomona, California, and it was just like breathtaking and very sensual and loving and soft. So it really kind of depends. I'll hear a song or I'll read a treatment for a project, or I get specific notes from a director. I just worked on a Pepsi commercial in New York, and that ended up being more movement direction than it was choreography. Having talent move in a smooth way that accentuates like the smoothness of a drink, as it blends seamlessly from one set to the next. So that's what I love about choreography. And I think that's why it's something I always want to keep kind of in my belt in some sense, is it's just an opportunity for me to be a storyteller. Eventually I want to direct. That's like sort of the end goal for me. And to get to do it on a scale such as a choreographer and movement director now is, for me, it feels like practice. It's a way for me to exercise that talent so that one day I'm doing the same thing with scripted projects.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually going to ask you, because remember last time we talked, you had talked about wanting to get behind the camera. So have you had any experience other than choreographing to be behind a camera, or just to test it out maybe a little bit?
Yeah, I actually directed a series of music videos last March, was it now? Yeah, last March, for an artist named Emerson in Blue. And that was my first time directing something of that scale. I had directed another music video for a friend, Wolf Bay, an amazing musician. And I had the opportunity to do it again with Emerson. And basically, what I did was I created a short film and then broke it down into three parts. And each song was the narration of part one, two, and three of the short. So we actually shot three music videos over 2 days, because one sort of blends seamlessly to the next. So it was the same wardrobe, similar locations, etc. So I'm hoping to do more projects like that this year. That was really fulfilling, and also an amazing learning experience. You know, you walk away from something like that and you're like, this worked out really great. I'd like to try this differently this time, you know, thinking about new crew members to hire, etc. It was a big undertaking, but I really enjoyed it, and I got so much out of it artistically.
What was one of the hardest things that you had to do to when you sat in that director's chair? What was the challenge that you had to overcome, and are you proud of how it came out?
I'm really proud of how it came out. Yeah, I was able to collaborate with a good friend of mine who's actually in Vancouver, and he ended up editing the videos. And that was like, that brought me so much joy to see it, you know, edited and put together cohesively with someone that I've known for so many years, who really just understands my voice and my vision. I'd say the hardest part about it was wearing so many hats at once. You know, I was the director of the project, but I also was one of the producers. I also was overseeing some of the movement and, you know, location scouting, things like that. You know, you think that you can wear all the hats and get in a project, and you know, when it's your baby like that, you want to have control over things. And I'd say what I took away from that experience was, next time I would delegate things, you know, a little, maybe a little wider spread out, you know, have someone who's specifically producing and someone who's specifically doing locations, maybe hire another choreographer to do movement, just so that I could wear one hat, because I lost a lot of sleep. Yeah, so I think that would be more beneficial for next time.
Now, when you do ever get that chance to sit in that director's chair, would you ever decide to direct and be in front of the camera at the same time?
I've thought about it. You know, I've spent the last 2 years writing. So I've now got a series that I've written underway. I've got a feature film, and then I'm in the process of rewriting another feature, with my writing partner. And one of the leads in the series I'm writing with my writing partner is a character that I'd like to play. And you know, my writing partner is always like, you're going to have to direct this as well. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, like that would be such a big undertaking to be, you know, one of the leads of something and also direct it. So I don't know if it'll be this one, but I can see that in the future for sure. I have a script that I'm writing right now about my life and my childhood, and I can't imagine someone else playing that character. So
No, it would have to be you for sure.
yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
would know it best. So actually, something like that might actually flow a little easier if you
Mm.
to do both sides, because you know what you want to do here, and you can still see how it's got to be done here. So you may be able to do a little bit both a little easier. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think it could flow seamlessly, especially if I have enough of a separation between, you know, the version of me that wrote the script, and then the version of me that would direct, and then the version of me that would play this character, to sort of like, you know, create those things and then pass them off, you know, have an amazing first AD that was sort of overseeing things, and having maybe, you know, a script supervisor who was overseeing the script, etc. So I think, you know, that idea of having really great collaborators can help bring an individual project just that much greater into the light.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, it's hard to it's hard for, honestly, for me, it's hard to write a biography. I mean, I've had to put some stuff up for my websites, and it's just like, talking about myself is hard. How was it just writing a script about your life and knowing that you're gonna have to play this? Was it hard?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Especially because a lot of my experiences in childhood were really challenging. And so to revisit a lot of those memories and to turn it into a, a cinematic format that also has some levity too, right? Like that's the other idea, is we have our experiences in our memories, and so how to bring those to light in a way that other people can connect with them and relate with them. And also, I'd say one of the most challenging parts was just letting myself trust that the memories I do have are real and true to self. I think that we can walk away from situations and wonder, did that happen the way it did? Am I remembering it correctly? So giving myself the dignity of that experience to be like, this is what I remember. And even if it is stretched in some sense for script format, this is my story, and just taking ownership of that. But I think, when it's time for that to come to light and to live in a world where other people can view it and watch it, I think that'll be both challenging and very rewarding all at the same time.
I think so too. I mean, it's good to hear people's stories, because there are people out there that are kind of going through something similar, maybe not exactly the same, but they can relate to it. And when they see people and how they've overcome what they've done in their lives and be successful and even just be happy, it gives us all inspiration inside too. So I think I think people telling their stories is very important, regardless of what story may be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's so many projects out there that I have connected to on such a deep way, even without maybe the main topic being something that I may or may not have experienced. Just knowing that those feelings that are connected to those experiences are similar and are felt across the board in more than one way.
So where are your writings now? Are they in a production? Are you trying to get them crowdfunded? Are you getting funding for them? Are they even in production yet? Or how are they progressing for you?
Nothing's in production yet. The pilot that I had written for the series, that got a little bit of headway a couple of years ago, and then made some changes in my management team, and so that's something I'd like to revisit this year and sort of see where that can go. I'd say all of my time and energy right now is focused on the indie that I'm writing with my writing partner. It's an LGBT rom-com. We're super excited about it. I would love to get that made. That's something I'm really pushing forward this year, and in hopes to be in production somewhere. So fingers crossed. And that's my baby right now, and that's where I'm putting the focus and energy. Oh my gosh, your dog is so sweet. Sorry, I just
oh my god, yeah, I didn't even know you're photobombing me. That's funny.
Oh, he just like stretched out.
He usually goes upside down, so I mean, this is pretty good. He's not flashing anybody.
I love it.
So after coming through the pandemic, obviously things slow down. You're trying to get back into full swing. I know that's how you are anyways. You want to get it going. You want to put out more stuff. So what is in the cards for 2022? And what is the biggest goal you want to achieve before December 31st?
Oh, yeah, I'd say that my cards are in the basket of getting this script made this year, getting this into production. I would love to see it live on a platform like a Netflix or Hulu or something of that sort. I'd love to film it back in Vancouver, which is where I'm from, and there's so many things that are filming there right now. And I'd say my main goal before December 31st is I want to be a series regular. Like that's something I have really been working hard towards, and I'm eager to be a series regular on a project that is just incredibly fulfilling and challenging, and gives me that opportunity to dive into a character longer than just a few months, right? I've had the opportunity of being a recurring character on a few shows now, but to have that opportunity to really sink my teeth into something that is, carrying part of a story in more than just a smaller scale is a really big goal of mine. So, I've got a really great team behind me this year, and I'm just really trusting myself and trusting my instincts and trusting that that's going to get me where I need to be. There's so much content out there right now, and I'm looking forward to that. So
I can't wait to see the stuff myself. So let's kind of talk to everybody about the things that you have done, and it's probably out for people to see. What can people see that you have out there that I'm sure they would love to check you out with?
Yeah, so in October, Netflix released season 2 of Another Life, which is a sci-fi series, and I play a character on that named Paula, Paula Carbone, and she's a colonist, and so she discovers new planets and tries to set down some new roots. So there's a lot of twists and turns with her character, and I had such a pleasure working on that. It was amazing, an amazing cast and crew. We shot it during the pandemic, which was incredibly challenging, but made for a really great experience because we were so excited to get back to work. We were so excited to be able to be there. And not that I ever take that for granted, but to have that opportunity after not working for so many months and sort of being in that state of panic that we were all in, that was a real pleasure. So I'm really proud of that. You can stream that on Netflix now. And yeah, what else is, well, I've got something that'll be coming out at the end of this year, which is Damien Chazelle's new film, Babylon. I have a sort of half dance, half acting little part in that, which was really cool to work on a project of that scale. I mean, Damien's first film, La La Land, was, just phenomenal, and people, they won the Oscar. But I think Babylon will be on a similar scale, and yeah, has some amazing people in it. I mean, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie. I mean, it's got a phenomenal cast. So that was something that I enjoyed working on this year, and yeah, should be out by the end of this year. I also have an Old Navy ad that I think is currently still airing, which is just something fun. And if you happen to spot me in it, that's me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, Carlena, how can people follow you? I know you got a bunch of social media. You're pretty active on them too. So how can they follow you and see what you got coming up?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Carlena Britch, Carlena Britch. My Twitter's the same handle. And I'm not quite on TikTok. I'm just like, I can't seem to get in it. I'm like, maybe I'm too old. And yeah, I've got a YouTube channel, but it's mostly some of my old dance stuff. But if you ever want to do a deep dive, that stuff's always fun to look at. It's like dance videos from when I was like 16, which is like kind of awesome. But yeah, I'm mostly on Instagram and Twitter, and yeah, that's where to find me.
Well, Carlena, this has been so much fun catching up. We shouldn't let it go more than 2 years like we did, but I definitely want to have you back on again. You're so much fun. You inspire me, and I know you've inspired some of the people that we've had on. One of my favorite guests. So thank you for coming on and spending some time with me today.
Of course, I'd love to come back.
Absolutely. Guys, we got to take a quick commercial break to pay bills. We'll be right back after this. Don't go away.
Like, OMG, you were on TV and junk.